to my video on how to perform an oil change on a Honda SH 2006 model. It's my son's much used but not particularly looked after scooter. Fuel injected. I believe it's done around 15,000 miles, yeah, 15,500 miles. With these models, unfortunately, even though it has a center stand, you cannot access the oil drain plug, or you can access it, but you can't drain it with the center stand up. That's the drain plug there. That's the center stand, so there's no way to put a bucket effectively. You could of course use a funnel setup, but I'm going to take the easy option, and I'm simply going to lean the bike against the wall and then put a full bucket underneath, so I haven't got to worry about getting oil everywhere. Okay, I haven't got any oil as of yet replacement, so I will nip out in a bit, get some oil, and then come back and prepare to get my tools ready. I'm also going to try and attempt to switch off the oil light on the dash when the bike comes on. The oil change light is light. So I looked at the oil, it's quite dark anyway, so I'm not sure when the last time it was changed, but it isn't going to hurt to change the oil again today. Okay, I'll see you in a little bit. To begin with, I've prepared my work area, so I've got 17mm socket and wrench, some gloves, a container to put the oil into, some Enlisted Castrol Power 1 oil. I got 1 litre. I've got another one in the back just in case, but I believe 1 litre should be enough, or a quart as Americans call it, and some cloth in case of any spillages. They're almost inevitable spillages. Okay, I've removed the scooter from the centre stand, and currently it is chock to the rear wheel and it's just leaning up against the wall. They got quite balance. Obviously, quite good balance. Obviously, it's slightly leaning over. You got to be careful to make sure. You may have to, depending on the particular bike you're working on, you may well have to give the drain bolt some welly. So it may be an idea to get somebody else to make sure that the scooter doesn't move. But we'll give it a go. Okay, I've already cracked the drain bolt, but it's still too tight to undo with fingers, so let's try. There we go. Seems quite loose now actually. There we go. The drain container underneath. Use my hand with a glove on. Okay, with my glove on, with a gloved hand, try and unscrew it. There we go, let's try this. Now I believe there is also the filter, a very coarse filter that will come out when with the drain plug. I shall try, attempt. To prevent that going into the oil. There we are. Well, and here, doesn't look like there is a filter in there, unless it's fallen out already. There's your oil cap and your spring. This filter must have already fallen in, so it'll be a fun job for me in a moment. I shall leave the oil to drain. It's worth mentioning as well that prior to draining oil, you really should, if you can, take the machine just round the block, get the engine warmed up. It makes obviously warm oil drains much faster than, and you'll get more of it out than cold oil. Okay. Right, I'll let that drain, and I'll come back. I'll have let that drain. I'll come back in a moment. Okay, I've drained the oil, nice and dirty. I don't know how old that is or how many miles that is, but there we are. It looks like the oil filter is still, if you can see it, there we are, it's still up in there. So I will now attempt to remove it. There we are, there we are. I'll put that there. That's quite seriously degraded by the looks of that. Well, it looks like it's been repaired. Can't think when it would repair. I can't think when it would repair an oil filter, but usually they should just be, as you imagine, this continuous mesh from the O-ring to the top. It's got these. Seems a little bit odd. Maybe I haven't got a spare one. To be honest, I've never had to replace one before. But as you can see, overall, there's no metal filings, or if you had a new bike, you may well find some small tiny pieces of metal inside these. Just as when the engine's first bedding in, when the first few thousand miles on the first few hundred miles. This obviously has done 15,000, so it's way beyond that point. But the filter looks in relatively good condition, to be fair. So I'll give them a rinse and a clean up, and then I'll wash them off in the new oil, and I'll replace them, and then we'll look at refilling the bike with a new fresh oil. Okay, see you in a little bit. I've given the plugs, etc., a bit of a clean and a degrease. Still can't work out about this. Everything's in good condition. One thing I did forgot to say earlier was to pull out the filling cap, which I hadn't done. I have done that now. That'll also help speed up the oil draining process. Okay, right, now the next step is to fit the filter and drain cap back in. Actually, I'm going to try and put the filter in as it came out, so we'll put it in separately. Put it in first, rather. There we go. And it's holding in. And the spring and the cap over the top. This can be fairly fiddly because you have to keep the spring straight and the cap straight while pushing it back in. It can be immensely fiddly. There we go, I think that's caught it. There we go. Make sure it's not threaded. There's plenty of easy movement on this, so it's not threaded. Should go in nice and smoothly once it's in. You should be able to twist nice and smoothly. Okay. Try and get this to zoom. Alright. switch the ratchet over. There we are, it's almost finger tight anyway. Just tight. There we are. Don't over tighten, it'll just cause massive problems for the next time or when you're next doing an oil change. So it's nice and hand tight. Is once you've replaced the oil and it's filled up, it's always worth just double checking there's no oil drainage, but make sure the oil's warmed up first, because the last thing you want is to be driving down the road, get to your destination and realise you've got no oil left, or worse, the engine overheats. Okay, right, next step is to put the scooter back on its centre stand, and we'll fill up the oil reservoir. Okay, the scooter's back on its centre stand. It's now time to open the oil and start to pour. Most of these oils are of a similar style. You just twist, break the seal. There we are. And pull, if it's possible to do so. There we are. Pull the nozzle out and then unscrew the cap. There we are. Then remove the filler cap. These usually need a squeeze to get the oil out. Keep squeezing them. Okay, replace the filler cap, then start the engine, let it warm up. We'll let the engine warm for 5-10 minutes so that we can ascertain the correct oil level. Okay, the bike's warmed up now for around 5 minutes, so we'll turn it off. And then we'll come down and we'll check the oil level. Let's pull the filler out. Just drying the cloth on here, drying the divot so we can get an accurate oil level. And yeah, if you could see properly, it's dripping off there, but it's just, to be honest, a tiny little bit too much in there. It's just above the crisscrosses, which it should be in between the crisscross lines at the bottom. Okay, but that'll be fine. There we are. And screw it up again, tight but not over tight. And there we are, that's an oil change.